Happy Tuesday, and a chilly one at that. It is the 14th day of October, 2025. I am Dan Kuntz, 36 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. That's pretty cool, but nothing compared to what's going on elsewhere. Ellensburg is at 21. Moses Lake is at 30. Manson's at 30. We told you it was going to be cold, and it's cold. Now we're going to warm up to the, upper 50s, lower 60s today. Bountiful sunshine. For the rest of the week, things will get a little unsettled. By the weekend, it's definitely going to feel like October around north central Washington. And if you look behind me, you'll see you're going to go, wait a minute, we had snow on the lower Sugarloaf fire. We had snow Sunday night and a Monday morning on the Labor Mountain fire. Why is the air so bad? Well, the fires, the lower Sugarloaf fire is 90% contained, but it's still burning. The Labor Mountain fire is 30% contained despite the snow, but it's still burning. So we have air quality issues. Again, who'd have thought? It's 108 in Kashmir, 106 here in the Wenatchee Valley. It'll get better. I don't think we're going to get into the hazardous level today, but yeah, we're not done with that yet. We were hoping we were. A lot of weather to talk to, a lot of news to get to. Of course, the Mariners are now 2 games away from making it to their first ever World Series. They've been playing Major League Baseball in the Emerald City as the Mariners for 49 seasons. And they're almost there. Still got work to do. Highlights from a pretty fun game to watch last night. So we got a lot of sports to get to. There's a chair to my immediate left. Why, I don't know. Oh, that's right. It's Tuesday. Austin Drawday will be in, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. They won their first game on Sunday. You may have missed it because they played the same time that the Mariners did, but they won. They beat Seattle, so they finally got off that schneid. Austin will be in to talk about Wild hockey in the back half of the program. There's a lot to get to today. Let's go. Let's fire up the cameras. Well, they're already fired up. See, there you go. There's the smoke hovering over the Wenatchee Valley. People are going, well, I did. I was surprised when I got up this morning. I said, what? I thought we'd be done with this, but we're not done with this. And look how it's just laying right over the top of the Wenatchee Valley, pretty much following the path of the Wenatchee River down to the Columbia River. Again, Kashmir's at 108 and we're at 106 from our Wenatchee Heights camera. Still not sunrise yet. We're a ways from that. 7:19, but we can adjust the cameras to make it look like it's brighter than it actually is. Sunset tonight, 6:14. That's 10 hours and 55 minutes of daylight. We went under the 11-hour mark, by the way, yesterday. Camera number 2. Good morning to Leavenworth. Now that's a cool shot. I like that. I don't think that's smoke. I think that's just low-hanging clouds and fog right around, of course, right around the icicle in the Wenatchee River is there. That's pretty cool. I like that shot. That's from our Tumwater Canyon camera. Looks like there's a hard frost there. It looks like it from Leavenworth. Again, that camera is a little darker than the Wenatchee Heights camera, but that's our Tumwater Canyon camera overlooking the Bavarian village of Leavenworth from the Tumwater Canyon camera. And by the way, I understand there's a big festival involving some sort of beer in Leavenworth this weekend. I've lost track of this thing. The Rock Island camera is a mighty fine camera. The Rock Island camera is a mighty good road. There it is, our Rock Island camera. By the way, it's way up above Rock Island. That's up there a ways. It's out looking towards the Crescent Bar area. Looks like a little bit of smoke and some haze as well up there. Good morning to our friends out in the Crescent Bar area. Always a pleasure to see you. And to Valley High we go, along Blewett Pass. Let's see how much snow they got there. They don't have much snow, but that's a lot of smoke. Of course, Valley High, that camera is not too far from the Labor Mountain fire, which is still only 30% contained. It's been tampered down a little bit, but the fires aren't going to be out until we get either a lot of rain or a lot of snow. And you know what? We may get some serious rain on Saturday night, which I like. In fact, the Climate Prediction Center from the National Weather Service thinks that for the balance of the rest of the month, it's going to be cooler and wetter than normal. Check out this slide. We do this on Tuesdays, the Climate Prediction Center, the long-term forecast. This takes us from Sunday of this week to next Thursday. Do we have that ready to go, Captain? And it looks something like this. There it is, your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook again, Sunday to next Thursday. And as you can see, we're leaning below average temperature, and it looks like Boise, Idaho is going to be really cold along that area there, maybe in the Walla Walla area. So we are leaning below normal temperature-wise for Sunday through Thursday of next week. For precipitation, it's leaning very highly above normal precipitation, and I have no problems with that. Cool and wet weather is just fine because we've had an abnormal, I mean, we're still in year 3 of a drought. Plus, we've had an abnormally warm summers for the last 5 years or so. So it looks like from Sunday to Thursday, it's going to be cooler than normal and wetter than normal. And I, for one, have no problems with that. If we're going to have autumn, let's have autumn. Your weather forecast brought to you by our friends at Colonial Vista. Check out their website, Colonial Vista. Cool people. Thanks for sponsoring the weather. 58 our high today. Our normal high, by the way, is 62. All we got to yesterday was 52. So both Sunday and Monday, we topped off at 52 degrees. We'll be warmer than that today because we'll have more sunshine today. But the overnight low is going to get all the way down to freezing again or close to it for the Wenatchee Valley with clear skies. Sunshine right through the rest of the week. Gradual warming trend, really not much. Back up to normal on Wednesday and Thursday. Overnight lows about normal as we get into Friday. And then on Saturday night, we have a very good chance of rain on Saturday night and Sunday. Saturday night, overnight into Sunday, 60% chance of rain, 60% chance of rain most of the day on Sunday, and a 40% chance of rain on Sunday night. So believe it or not, just in time for the weekend, things are going to get a little unsettled after, well, a pretty quiet week, all things considered. And there is no snow, by the way, in the forecast for the mountain passes. Heads up on that. We're going to take a quick break and come back and fill your head full of the information you need on this Tuesday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
You won't be voting for Congress or the presidency this year, but local elections are the place where your voice can make the most difference. Wenatchee Valley candidates are lining up to serve on city councils and school boards on both sides of the Columbia River. NCW Life put all of them in the hot seat so you can find the ones who represent you the best. Watch our interviews at these times and dates right here on our channel or anytime online at ncwlife.com. You're watching the NCW Life channel. Your vote matters to us.
It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, a presentation of Apple Valley Honda. The Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center is bringing back the Haunted Museum for another scary year, October 23rd through the 30th. It's a guided tour called The Protocol, guaranteed to scare the most hardy of folks. Tickets are $25 online, $30 at the door, but tickets are limited. The Haunted Museum is not recommended for children under the age of 13. Tickets at the museum's website.
36 rather chilly degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. We'll be pushing 60 with lots of sunshine, but we still have some kind of dirty air, unhealthy for sensitive groups here in Wenatchee and Cashmere. Pretty quiet, pretty benign weather until we get to Saturday when the rain returns. 9 minutes after the hour, a warehouse alongside the Wenatchee Railroad tracks was consumed by fire early yesterday morning, and fire officials say they haven't yet been able to go through the structure to search for anybody who might have been inside. Deputy Chief Andy Davidson with the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department says homeless residents have been using the buildings for shelter in the past, and the fire may have started as a result of somebody illegally occupying it. The call came in just after 1:15 in the morning yesterday to the 800 block of South Columbia Street, just across the tracks from Hale Park. The heavy fire was centralized in the basement of the brick and timber building, and the heat and smoke forced the firefighters back after they initially entered. 2 aerial hoses helped quench the main blaze. The building was recently bought by the Chelan County PUD and was slated to be torn down to make way for a new electrical substation. Crews arrived yesterday to begin that process, and Davidson said firefighters on standby will search for signs of occupancy as that work goes on. By the way, the exact cause of the fire is under investigation. 95% of greenhouse gas emissions generated in the Wenatchee area are coming from energy use in homes and buildings and fuel from automobiles, according to the first ever emissions inventory. The city, in partnership with Sustainable NCW and Our Valley, Our Future, received a U.S. Department of Energy grant to pay for the analysis. It was conducted by sustainability firm Parametrics. They studied the emissions generated in 2023. The house and building energy sector accounted for 48% of emissions, and the transportation sector for 47% of emissions. Overall, Wenatchee produced over 348,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide in 2023. Parametrics suggested several ways to lower emissions, including shifting to electric vehicles, installing rooftop solar on buildings, and improving energy efficiency in homes. Governor Bob Ferguson likes to come to the Wenatchee Valley. He made his second stop in the big city on Saturday. In just over a month, he checked in with local officials and with representatives of the tree fruit industry to talk about challenges to the market. The governor's last visit was an address to the State Building and Construction Trades Council's annual convention. The weekend meeting at Wenatchee City Hall focused on the rising costs to get fruit to market. Participants told Ferguson their business hasn't yet been severely challenged by tariffs, but the H-2A visa program that brings international workers to the orchards has proven expensive. Participants in the meeting included state legislators Tom Dent and Keith Gaynor, as well as Washington Tree Fruit Association President John Devaney. The Eastmont Park system in East Wenatchee has grown a lot, and it's been helping out the community over the last couple of decades. Sally Brawley was instrumental in a lot of that growth. She was the parks director for more than a decade. Now she's spearheading the committee of residents asking for a levy lid lift. That would allow the parks to take home more property tax revenue to keep their doors open and their programs up and running. Our very own Jefferson Robbins spoke with her about the tax initiative on the November ballot, which would raise the park's levy rate for property owners from 15 cents to 22 cents per $1,000 of assessed value.
That will get the parks solvent for the next few years. Chances are in about 10 years we'll need to come back and ask for another increase, because as anybody who is a junior taxing district knows, the levy rate goes down every year, and that has to do with a lot of factors. The park district started at 25 cents per thousand when it was established, and now it is at 15 cents per thousand. So in 21 years it has gone down because East Wenatchee has grown over the last 20 years. But what's happened here in the last 20 years is the expenses has increased to amount that the revenues coming in don't meet the expenses going out. And those aren't huge expenses, those are minimum wage. Minimum wage has gone up faster than revenues can absorb it. Payroll, and so with minimum wage, that's payroll taxes go up. Just cost of business goes up. The pool equipment, the pool chemicals, everything has increased exponentially more than what your revenues are.
Can you tell me, Sally, the last time that the levy rate was raised in the Parks District?
It has never been raised.
Not in 21 years?
No. This is the very first time that we are coming to the public and saying, hey, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it unless we can raise it to 22 cents. The Parks District will not survive it at 15 cents. There's no way.
So what happens then if it does not pass, if the 15 cents remains the maximum that you can collect? Do you have to do layoffs? Are there facilities that close?
Correct. All of the above. There will be staff cutbacks. There will be, well, the pool will close. And Eastmont School District uses that pool for their swim program. So that's a big hit right there.
And lots of members of the public are there whenever there's open swim.
Yes, yep, and they give lessons there, and that's a big hit. But the pool is, in order to maintain the parks, where are you going to cut? You're going to cut some of your facilities. So the pool is the first on the chopping block. The splash pad. The splash pad with the new tax, the new utility tax, that the city of East Wenatchee has on all of the utilities within the city limits. That splash pad cost $6,000 more a month to run because of the tax on the water. So that splash pad will either be gone completely or drastically reduced in hours that it can run.
Has the Park District have, in say its comprehensive plan or its future planning, expansions or new programs that it wants to bring forward that would not be able to go forward without this increase?
At this point in time, I believe Matt Hines, who is the Director of Parks currently, is working on his new comprehensive plan. But until we know whether or not this levy lift is going to be approved, you can't really move forward with much of anything. So right now, everything is on hold. Got to know if you're going to have a future before you can start putting any time and effort into planning that future. You got to know if you're going to be there.
Broadly speaking, Sally, what do parks contribute to a community?
Oh gosh, you're opening a huge can there. What can I say? They offer ability for people to gather. They offer ability to be inclusive to everyone. They offer the ability for people to just breathe. You know, when you are in a job situation and you just need to get away and you don't need to go clear up to the woods. We're blessed here in Wenatchee. We have so much recreation around us. It's outside our door. But parks provide a way for people who are, maybe they live in an apartment, they don't have a car, they walk to their local park. They're able to get outside and have some sense of community. And so yeah, I think parks are extremely valuable, extremely.
And it may be too soon for you and me to think about prescribed burning, but the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife plans to carry out some burn operations in our area this fall. One site identified is the Clockham Wildlife Area. That's on the border of Chelan and Kittitas counties. About 36 acres in that area and the Stimmel Basin are slated for fire treatments as weather allows. Those treatments are meant to help vegetation grow back healthier and make the landscape more resistant to future uncontrolled wildfires. No precise dates have been set, but Fish and Wildlife says the burning won't be carried out unless specific conditions for wind, temperature, and humidity are met. And you are in the loop at 18 minutes after the hour on this Tuesday. We'll be working, well, when I say we'll be working hard, others will be working hard to put together a newscast tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10 on television, the traditional way to consume this product. But if it doesn't work for you, there's always the World Wide Web. Our news will be up and running on our YouTube page at 5 o'clock, our homepage at 5 o'clock. We're now on Roku. We're on Apple, which, by the way, they ditched the TV Plus. It's just now Apple TV, Amazon Fire. We're on Fire itself. Well, not really. That would be bad. For one thing, I wouldn't be in the building. And if you have a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Everybody's talking about the Mariners. We'll do the same thing in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
If your chair is comfortable and still fits, Don't toss it. Reupholster it at Wenatchee Upholstery. The sky is the limit. From new upholstery in your favorite car to upgrading your seats in the boats. Everything old can be new again when you call Joe. Personalize your golf cart, grandma's chair, your favorite bar stool. Trust your treasure with Wenatchee Upholstery.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Sports at 21 after the hour. The Seattle Mariners are now just 2 victories away from going to the World Series. For the first time in franchise history, Jorge Polanco had a home run. Julio Rodriguez had a 3-run home run. Josh Naylor jacked one over the wall. And the Mariners now have a 2-0 lead in the American League Championship Series over the Blue Jays. The final was 10-3 yesterday. Toronto has just 6 hits. Just 6 hits in last night's game. Both games combined, the Blue Jays have just 8 hits combined in the first 2 games.
Here's his 1-2. Rodriguez hooks one in the air, down the line. If it's fair, it's got a chance, and it's gone. Julio Rodriguez with a 3-run shot in the first inning. Totally different story for Trey Savage. In his second postseason start, he gets punched right away. Rodriguez hits it out, and if you start getting that power like they did for a lot of the regular season, look out. Pad on his knee. He's going to move the runner up here at least. Close play at first, and it's going behind him. Blue Jays on the board. Lucas puts it in play. Naylor's feed was behind Gilbert, and it's 3-1. Line drive, right center, 3-2 as the Blue Jays have bounced right back. Kirk drives in Lucas. Toronto's already got more runs in game 2 than they had in 9 innings in game 1. Ball and a strike. Lucas muscles one up the middle, and they've tied it. Springer goes first to third. Lucas knocks in another. Off of the deck and tied up at 3. And then there was a wooden bat laying around the house. That's how he got his first accent, with a full-size wooden bat. Dribbled in play, routed to first, in time. Cal Raleigh able to get Clement on that swinging bunt.
And this was some kind of play, coming from the dirt and going to the turf. They earn their money back there. I know his teammates, you love to give catchers grief, but deep down you realize what an incredible role it is.
Shot to right center field. Varsho on the run. He's at the track. He's at the wall. It's gone! It's Polanco again! Jorge Polanco is owning October for the Mariners. He's given them a 6-3 lead.
When we see this replay, you're going to see one of the prettiest swings to the ball, short and in the zone. You cannot have a huge swing against a velocity fastball like Varland's.
And so just a little bit of good fair.
Smothered by Naylor.
A little bit of miscommunication there, I guess, with me and Fonzie.
All right, guys, what a play right there by Josh Naylor. Coming off what we just saw, it looked like he was hurting his last time up there. Diving stop to get George Springer for the first out of the 5th. Looked like it had eyes for right field, but Naylor was there.
Great play.
Flips it into left center field. It's down for a base hit to score Rivas. Crawford does what the situation calls for. Puts it in play with 2 strikes and brings him in. 7-3 Seattle. Fly to deep right field. Back goes Lucas at the wall. Goodbye! Third home run of the game for the Mariners, blasting their way through game 2. They lead it 9-3. It's the third hit of the game for Josh Naylor, who has shown all the things that he brings. The bat to ball, the stolen base, and now the power. In a stadium where he went deep when he was a high schooler. Now as a big leaguer. The wrong group to not have great stuff against. Fly to center field. Varsho comes out to make the grab. Here comes Suarez. Throw to the plate from Varsho's cut off after the shoulder surgery that he had in the offseason. He has the weakest throwing arm in the American League. And so a sacrifice fly for J.P. Crawford. Grounder to third. Suarez has it to second. One to first. Two to Seattle. 2-0. Who would have thought the Mariners would come in here? You'd figure running out of steam with not much in the tank. They had plenty and have firm control of this championship series.
6 of Polanco's first 7 hits so far this postseason have resulted in runs being scored. He talked to Tom Ferducci of Fox Sports after the game.
2 runners on base after a rare no-out intentional walk to Cal Raleigh. Take me through your approach and what it felt like to see that ball go over the wall.
It felt amazing. I'm going to start with that. It felt amazing to see that ball go over the wall, but yeah. My approach was just, I went there, I'm trying to get a good pitch to hit. Simple as that. I was just trying to get a good pitch to hit, trying to hit it hard.
Jorge, you know how loud it's been in Seattle, but this time for Game 3, you're going home as close as the Mariners have ever been to the World Series. 2 wins away. What do you expect for Game 3 in Seattle?
I expect a lot of noise from the fans. I know they're going to show up. I know they're going to bring a lot of energy for us. I know they're going to come and support us, and we're just going to go there and keep competing, keep competing.
Manager Dan Wilson said Polanco was doing what he needs to do when he comes up to bat and runners on base, and that's hitting the ball.
Coming up huge in big moments, and just his at-bats have been so good. You know, whether it's right-handed or left-handed. Tonight it was left-handed. I thought the at-bat there to get the 3-run homer was a huge turnaround for us. You know, we had kind of given up the lead. It had been tied up there again, and to get that 3-run lead back was big. And that was just a great at-bat, getting in there and just doing what Polo does. You know, he waits to get a good pitch and he puts a really good swing on it. And he's a tough out right now, and it's been huge for us. And he's come up in situations where we've had guys on, and he's been able to do the job and drive them in, and that's what this game's all about.
Josh Naylor hit a foul ball off his right foot in the first inning. Looked like he was kind of banged up, was a little gamey. Dan Wilson was considering taking Josh Naylor out of the game. Josh says, "No, Dan, I want to stay in," and the native of Canada is pretty happy he did that.
Josh Naylor, the pride of Mississauga, Ontario, hit the home run. You look up to the crowd. What does it mean to have all these people here supporting you?
It's great. I'm very, very grateful and thankful for all the support, all the friends and family that came out. Forever blessed to have them here. And I'm glad we got 2 wins in front of them, and hopefully they come to Seattle because there seem to be some good luck charms over there.
You are the first Canadian to homer as a visiting player in Canada during the postseason. You think about all the history of Canadian ball players, Josh. What does that mean to you and your family?
It's awesome. Honestly, I just want to play hard. I'm not really looking to hit a homer. I'm just looking to put it together good at bat, get on base for the next guy. I think we do a really good job of passing the baton and waiting for the next guy to get up. And then if he has a chance to do something special, he can. If not, pass the baton again. It was a team effort tonight, and very thankful for all the hard work these guys are putting in to win these games.
Mariners will go with righty George Kirby tomorrow night. Another right-handed pitcher for the Blue Jays. Shane Bieber will get the nod. He won the Cy Young Award, by the way, about 5 years ago. Game 3, first pitch tomorrow night at 5:08. Go Mariners. Well, Blake Snell was really, really good last night. He allowed just 1 base runner in 8 shutout innings. The Dodgers bullpen tried to blow it. They didn't. But LA opened the National League Championship Series with a 2-1 victory over the Brewers in Milwaukee last night. Game 2 of that series is tonight at 5:08 on TBS. Well, the Seahawks, coming off a big road win in Jacksonville, have an extra day to prepare for Houston. They'll play on Monday Night Football. Coach Mike McDonald admitted that veteran defensive end Leonard Williams did not have his best game in their loss to Tampa Bay, but bounced back in a big way on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know the stats, but the guy played a tremendous game yesterday. Set a lot of those guys up for success, playing at a really high level. Whole front played great, and the effect that he's had with our, especially our young offensive linemen over the course of the season has been really cool. That really all of our defensive linemen and veteran offensive line guys, willing to sharpen each other has just been a 12-1 type of thing. Pretty cool.
Hawks and Texans will do battle Monday Night Football on the American Broadcasting Company and the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. All right, Prep soccer scores. Take your time to read all of those. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Okay, that's enough. Okanagan beat their rival on the pitch last night 2-1. Pretty light on a Monday, but not so today. The Prep girls soccer schedule is a busy one. First of all, the Kashmir Bulldogs are ranked #1 in the RPI this week. They'll take on Connell. Cascade, by the way, is #9 in the 1A RPI rankings. They got a big one tonight, and the Wenatchee High School Panthers are #2 in the RPI rankings. They head down to West Valley to take on the Rams. Prep volleyball scores from last night. Well, again, not much. Kittitas swept Cascade. It was a tight one between Soap Lake and Waterville Mansfield, but Soap Lake pulled it out, and the Billy Goats knocked out Bridgeport 3-0. Prep volleyball schedule, and just like soccer, there's a lot of really good girls prep volleyball teams around here. Wenatchee is #8 in the RPI. They're playing tonight in 1A RPI. Chelan, the Lady Goats, are #1. And Kashmir is #4. So Kashmir, Chelan, Wenatchee, and even Ellensburg is #8. And there is your schedule today. We will have tonight's Wenatchee West Valley game for the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium. In fact, here it is. Volleyball tonight. The handsome and talented Eric Granstrom with the call. West Valley Rams, Wenatchee High School. Wenatchee has lost just one match this year. They are undefeated in Big 9 play. 6:30 tonight with Eric on the call. That's tonight. Then we turn around and we got volleyball on Thursday. Ellensburg comes to town. This will be a lot of fun. The Bulldogs and the Panthers at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium Thursday night at 6:30. Again, Eric with the call. And then Eric's a busy guy. We're right back to Eastmont High School on Friday. This will be a good one. Eastmont, the Moses Lake Mavericks. Eastmont looking for revenge. Moses Lake shut them out in a big way last year out in the basin. Eastmont's looking for revenge. We will be there Friday night for high school football, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. It is Liberation Day in Yemen. I know a lot of people watch the show online in Yemen. It's Defenders Day in the Ukraine. They could use more of that. It's National Dessert Day. Not going to do that. No, today is Be Bald and Be Free Day. Today, be bald and be free. Some people celebrate their lack of, well, they're follically challenged. Let's leave it at that. More than 50% of all women will experience some balding at some point in their lives. By age 50, more than 85% of all men will show some signs of balding. The average person will lose anywhere from 50 to 100 hairs a day. I can look at my shower drain and prove that. Approximately 25% of men will start to lose their hair before the age of 21. About 50 million men suffer from male pattern baldness. Not going there. It is a myth that shampooing a lot causes hair loss. It's just not true. It's also a myth that wearing a hat a lot will cause hair loss. It's just an urban myth. It's not true. Of course, the #1 factor overwhelming for hair loss or not losing hair is genetics. You're born with it. And people spend a lot of money on hair transplants, like $1 billion a year in this country alone. They spend on hair transplants, or you can just shave your head and call it good. I know friends who did that. Saves money on shampoo. 34 minutes after the hour, today in history, TR was running for president again on the Progressive ticket. He wanted another term, and he was running as the Bull Moose candidate, giving a speech in Milwaukee, and he got shot. He got shot, mildly wounded. John Schrank did the deed. He had the fresh wound in his chest. and the bullet still in his chest, but then he did a speech anyway. He spoke for 90 minutes before they finally took him to the hospital. It turns out the bullet struck the steel case that he kept his glasses in, and also the speech, and that helped stop the bullet from penetrating too deep. Somebody didn't want this guy to get a third term. He didn't get his way, but on the other hand, TR didn't win the 1912 presidential election. Happy 99th birthday to Winnie the Pooh. The children's book Winnie the Pooh is first published by A.A. Milne on this date 99 years ago today. It is a staple for children's books since then for almost a century. 63 years ago today, President Kennedy, we got some photos we want you to see. We're a little worried. You see what we're showing you there? That's Soviet ballistic missiles. That's bad news in and of itself. The even worse news is that this is in Cuba. Yeah, this is in Cuba. So President Kennedy, the Soviets are getting a little aggressive. The beginning of the Cuban Missile Crisis. On this date in 1962, we'll revisit this in a few days. It's Yankee Stadium. It's the bottom of the ninth inning in the fifth and deciding game of the 1976 American League Championship Series. The Yankees, the Royals, 6-6, first pitch, bottom of the ninth, Chris Chambliss at the plate.
Mark Littell delivers high drive, hits it right center field. That's gone. It is gone. Chris Chambliss has won the American League pennant for the New York Yankees. A thrilling, dramatic game with overtones of that great sixth game in the World Series a year ago, and then the seventh game too. What a way for the American League season to end. A spunky young Kansas City team. Look at them mob Chris Chambliss. What a season he has had. What a series he has had.
I was only 12 years old watching that game on TV, but I remember that yesterday like it was yesterday. By the way, after about 20 minutes in the clubhouse at Yankee Stadium, a group of police officers escorted Chris Chambliss out to home plate to officially touch home plate. It wasn't there anymore. They had dug it up. But the Yankees win the pennant. And of October 14th, 2003 in Chicago, this day will go down in infamy. It is 3-0. All they need is 5 outs, and the Chicago Cubs will go to the World Series against the Florida Marlins. And this is what happened.
And couldn't get it, and he's livid with a fan.
That's awfully close to fan interference right there. The umpire's all over it. The umpire right down there, Mike Everett's on the play. If Alou has to reach into the stands, it's fair game for the fans to catch the ball. If the fan reaches out over the field, then it can be ruled fan interference. That is very, very close.
Steve Bartman eventually had to be escorted from his seat and out of the stadium by security. Things got really ugly in Chicago. The whole eighth inning fell apart, but it wasn't Steve Bartman's fault. It was Alex Gonzalez who booted an easy double play that would have ended the inning. Of course, they lost that game and Game 7 to Florida back in 2003. Birthdays. 2 heavenly birthdays. We always do presidents. Dwight David Eisenhower, the 34th president of the United States. Born on this date in Denison, Texas, moved to Abilene, Kansas when he was a kid. He was 65th in his class of 165 at West Point. He wanted to go to college. Folks didn't have any money, and so he applied to the Naval Academy in Annapolis and at West Point. The Navy turned him down because they said he was too short. The Army took him in, much to the chagrin of the United States Navy. Of course, Camp David, the presidential retreat in Maryland, is named after his grandson. He did that himself. Eisenhower smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day for most of his adult life. He ended up having 6 heart attacks and a stroke. He quit just before he actually became president of the United States. Both parties wanted him to run for president in 1952. He chose the Republican Party. He left active duty to become president. Once you're a general, you're always on active duty until you die. He resigned his commission, became president, and then after he left the presidency in 1969, he got his commission back. And he made over 200 paintings, too. He liked to paint. Ike, born in the state in 1890, and John Wooden, 10 national championships in 12 years at UCLA, 7 in a row, 88 games in a row, and the most important of all the college basketball awards, the highest award any college basketball player can get is the John Wooden Award, born in the state in 1910. That's not Dwight D. Eisenhower, by the way. Hey, we get up early in the morning, all right? You have to cut us some slack. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. I, for one, noticed that my heater went on automatically. Yours probably did too, but make sure it's ready to go when the really cold weather comes around. Mike McKnight has got an opinion coming up, and then live in studio because it's Tuesday, Austin Andrade and Hockey Talk is coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hand off to Zielinski around the right side. Got away from one man, got away from two. High School Sports is back this fall on the NCW Life channel. Watch Eastmont, Wenatchee, and Cashmere games right here. Sponsored in part by our platinum supporter Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Biosports Physical Therapy, Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, and Valley Tractor. Watch high school sports all fall right here on your local TV station, the NCW Life channel.
Listen, home upgrades can be expensive, but I've always had that DIY vision. Like controlling my thermostat remotely, or getting instant heat, and upgrading my insulation.
Some upgrades don't need a fresh perspective. With Chelam PUD rebates, it's easy to make energy-efficient upgrades that make your home more comfortable.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
Remember when you could afford to have fun on 2 wheels without breaking the bank? Maybe you started on a Honda Z50 or a Trail 70 or one of the most popular Hondas of all time, the Trail 90. Well, Honda and Doghouse Motorsports are making fun affordable again. Introducing the Honda Monkey, the Dax, and the new updated Trail 125, all featuring fuel-injected 4-stroke engines with electric start. The best part of all, they are affordably priced under $5,000. Whether you're just getting started or you want to get back at it, Doghouse Motorsports has you covered.
Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, Dan Kuntz, the host of this show, Wake Up Wenatchee, keeps nagging me to provide him with these opinions. Now, I need new ones, Mike, he says. I think Dan is afraid that this little daily bit I do, is the best part of his show, and the main reason why people tune in. Well, there may or may not be some truth to that. Danny Boy doesn't really have to be so insecure. He's a talented man himself. And I'm sure if he didn't run, everyone's entitled to Mike McNutty's opinion. People would still watch his show. Some people. His relatives, maybe. Maybe. Well, this is Mike McNutty, and that's my opinion.
It doesn't matter if it's a cold day or a hot day. Either way, it's a work day. And what defines a work day isn't the weather, but what gets done. An industry leader in climate control, the Ranger XP 1000 North Star puts your comfort in your hands, helping you manage any condition and tackle the task at hand, even if the task at hand isn't work at all.
Some of life's best moments happen right at home. Bullfrog Spas bring the whole family together for connection, comfort, and a little splash of fun. For over 30 years, Pool to Spa Services has helped families relax and reconnect, one spa at a time. With Bullfrog's unique jetpack therapy system, everyone gets their perfect seat. Pool to Spa Services. Discover the peace of a Bullfrog spa right in your backyard.
Foothills Magazine invites you to Eastern Washington's premier food and wine event, the Wenatchee Wine and Food Festival, Saturday, November 8th. Celebrate the region's best wines, savor delicious bites from top local chefs, and enjoy craft beer, cider, live entertainment, and more. All guests receive a keepsake wine glass, and our exclusive VIP experience offers even more to sip and savor. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at WenatcheeWineandFood.com.
Now is a time to reconnect at home. Create your own private retreat with a clean-burning, energy-efficient fireplace extraordinaire fireplacer insert. Handcrafted in Mukilteo, Washington, Fireplace Extraordinaire has amazing fire designs your whole family will love. Design your dream fire online with our Design My Fire tool. Request a quote or visit your participating Fireplace Extraordinaire dealer today.
Mention this ad to receive an additional 3% discount. That's our extended bumper, is what we call that. We'd like to do it twice sometimes, Austin.
So nice we did it twice.
So nice we did it twice. Every Tuesday it's Hockey Talk with Austin, the Rocket Man Drade, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. Got a lot to talk about. First of all, quick little David Rayfield update. He started tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for Military Appreciation Night, the special deal. You buy a ticket for $20 for the game against Prince George on November 8th. 4 of those $20 go to some local veterans groups. How's David doing?
It's good. He's more than halfway. I think he woke up this morning with 516 tickets sold out of 1,000. So we'd like to get him off the balcony today. I'm not sure how many of those were advanced, kind of that head start that you can buy online and take some of the load off his plate. But yeah, he's more than halfway. We'd like to see him back in the office before the end of the day today if we can.
Yeah, it's cold. Let's get David off of that thing. And as we mentioned before, if you go to the Wenatchee Wild's website, when you go to the tickets, there's a special drop down. It's right. It's the first thing you see. And again, $4 for each of the $20 tickets sold for the Prince George game on November 8th goes to local veterans things. We won't talk about Friday. Spokane shut us out 4-0. That's okay. But finally, in front of a pretty good crowd on Sunday, considering they were going up against the Mariner game, we finally, and you talked about this last week, it was so important for them to bust through and get that first victory, and they did it as usual. Highlights, this is the Thunderbirds and the Wenatchee Wild from Sunday night at the Town Toyota Center. Austin, I'm going to ask you to use the thing here at the studio, the monitor for you folks at home. Please use your televisions.
Wenatchee back at home on a Sunday afternoon trying to pick up that first win of the season. 6 games without the first victory. Things would change on Sunday, and we start in the first period with the Wild on the power play. This will be a theme. Mason Kraft at the net front, tap it in, and the Wild take a 1-0 lead. Mason Kraft, that will be a theme today as well. To Sam Elliott, that will be a theme in this highlight package. First goal of the season, first goal of the WHL career for Sam Elliott, and as you can see, he was right there. And it's 1-0 Wild. But a few minutes later, Seattle would get it back. The Wild on a power play, but a poke check out to center ice, 2-on-1, and they're rushing. First shot, no. Second shot, yeah. Game tied at 1 with 7.5 to go in the first period. Shorthanded goal for Seattle, but the Wild would get it back. And they get it back a couple minutes later on another power play. This one back out high. Dawson Seitz back after a 3-game absence. Welcome back, Dawson Seitz. Top shelf.
It is good to have him back, isn't it?
It is very good to have him back. Top shelf, 2-1 Wild. And it looked like that might be the way we'd go to the second period. Spoiler alert. As Sam Elliott watches that one whiz by, it was not. And part of the reason would be Tobias Tversnick. A little flash on the save with 1:21 to go in the first period. Wenatchee would stay ahead on shots. This helps, A 4-on-4 for the Wild. Not a power play goal this time. Only 4 on the ice for Seattle, and Lucas Sherbina burns it to the top corner of the net. This is how the Wild would go to the second period with a 3-1 lead.
A good final 90 seconds for the Wild there.
Second period, it starts early. Mason Kraft already with a couple of assists on the game. I just got a feeling he's got a hankering for one. Oh, there it is.
He's got a hankering for one?
He's got a hankering for a goal.
That's your Iowa background coming through, buddy.
That's also my 36 going on 63 background coming in. Shot from the left wing circle. It's 4-1. But wait, there's more. Coming over the blue line, Zane Saab going to try to skitter this one by. I think it might work. And it does. Zane Saab's first goal of the season just manages to sneak this one in as it squirts through Marek Stanichka, and it's a 5-1 lead for the Wild. It would be an interesting one, though, middle of the third period. Seattle with a push. They're going to cut the lead to 5-3, but you got to do it one at a time. One timer off the turnover, and a quick snap to the net makes it 5-2. 11-11 to go in the third. Seattle wishing for a few more goals. They would get one more after this one-timer on the backside past Tobias Tversnik. And the next one comes 16 seconds later on another backside one-timer. This one out of the corner and to the front of the net. Seattle cuts the lead to 5-3.
Still halfway through the third period. It's not over yet.
Thunderbirds trying to come back from a 4-goal lead. And that one right on the doorstep from Colton Giroux. Sam Elliott, I believe it was said sometimes you get the bear and sometimes the bear gets you. And Sam Elliott gets his second goal of the game.
I'm in no hurry to find out, I'll tell you that much. Now we have some breathing room.
Now some breathing room for the Wild. On the face and fire from Sam Elliott. His second goal of the game, he had 2 assists as well. Not only his first goal in the WHL, his first multi-goal game, a multi-point game. And if that one wasn't the dagger, this one from Maddox McHaggerty is a 140-footer to the back of the net at the other end. That one makes it 7-3. Another goal on the 4-on-4 gives the Wild a 4-goal lead. And this one sends 2,267 home very, very happily. The first win of the season for the Wenatchee Wild. 1-4-1-1 on the season, but that first number in the column is bound to go up again soon.
That winning on Sunday was important. We needed that. We finally busted through, and now we're ready to get some stuff going.
And it's one of those things where I think once you get that first goal, the dam is going to break. The gates are going to open up, and there will be more wins coming for this group. A couple of games this weekend that I think this group can certainly win. One of them, hopefully, Seattle will be looking for some revenge in their building. See if we can make it 2 in a row against them.
It's not a team without talent. In fact, I think how many players are we sending to the WHL Cup?
4 prospects will go to the WHL
prospects,
Cup.
And that's good news. Talk about that real quick.
There's a lot coming through the pipeline for this Wild group. 4 prospects, which means they're all players who were just drafted this past spring. This is an under-16 tournament in Canada. Will all represent their provinces at the WHL Cup, which is a tournament that the Western Hockey League sponsors every season, where the best under-16 players from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba all play against each other for about 5 days out in Western Canada for bragging rights. And we've got 4 players going. We got 2 coming from Manitoba, Braden and Chase Gregg, who are twin brothers. Played for Winnipeg under-15 team last year. They'll play in the tournament for Manitoba. 2 of our other top draft picks, Kaylin Miles, will play from Alberta, and Riley Brown will play from Milestone, Saskatchewan.
How are they selected? How's that work?
So that those selections come from the league and from the different governing bodies of hockey in the different provinces. So they have camps. They select players from those camps to compete in tournaments like this one.
No home games this weekend at the Town Toyota Center. They'll be up in Canada, where they do the metric system against Vancouver on Friday, and then we'll be at Seattle on Saturday. My guess is it's a one trip. You go up, you stay, then you on the ferry, or not on the ferry. You're in Vancouver, and then down and into Seattle.
Over the border.
So talk about the Giants. I'm trying to remember the Vancouver.
The Vancouver Giants. We haven't seen them yet this season, but always have a well put together group. Quite a few returners this year, if I remember correctly. So it's a tough place to pick up a couple points up in Langley. So we'll need to have this group ready to go and try to grab a couple points out of there and bring them down to Seattle on Saturday.
Yeah, so Vancouver Friday at Seattle on Saturday for the Wenatchee Wild, so no home games again this week. But again, we can't stress this enough. We talked about this before. The three big home games that are always a huge crowd, big sellouts, Hockey Fights Cancer, Guns and Hoses, and Military Appreciation Night. That's with the Cougars for Prince George in town on November 8th. That's why David is camping up on the balcony, because, well, he's not very bright. WHL as a whole, Everett I don't think has ever lost a game yet.
I think they lost one in overtime.
Okay, how's everything shaping? I know it's still early. 50 some odd hockey games to be played for everybody. How's the league shaping up early on now?
It's I think Everett has become one of the front runners in the league, but there's a ton of parity around the league right now. And I look at the Western Conference most, of course, but you look at the Western Conference, nobody other than Everett so far has really jumped out in front of the pack. It's a battle all the way from second, I think, down to 11th and 12th right now. Tri-City's a group that can win some games. We've got a group that's ready to win some games, and between second and 10th, there's no real program that's jumped ahead to try to challenge Everett for that top spot. So we look at every game as a winnable game. We look at every team as a group that we've got to respect and play our best against, or we're not going to come out of the building with any points.
We like parity because we're still a young team and we're a growing team, but we're going to get there. And what happened Sunday, not only beating Seattle, which is no small task to begin with, but beating them pretty good. That helped.
That was it was a game where we were able to take advantage on the power play. We were able to make good passes, get to the front of the net, and for the most part, stay out of the penalty box. But it was a group that did not back into its first win. This was a dominant performance by our guys that night, and I was talking with Coach Nachbar before the game about what he wants to see from the group, and really he said, repeat the first period from the Spokane game, which, even though we gave up a couple of goals, they were defendable goals, correctable mistakes, and other than that, was a pretty good period for our guys, and they did that in a massive way. And I think being able to repeat that first period for almost a full 60 minutes, that's going to be a recipe for success as we go forward.
And you must have been surprised, I know I was, that you had over 2,000 folks in the joint on Sunday afternoon, despite the competition for people's entertainment dollars and attention span. I'm talking about a certain Major League Baseball team in the Emerald City.
Yeah, who's up to nothing coming back from Canada. Yeah, no, it was a good crowd on Sunday, like you said, with a little bit of competition on the schedule. But it almost seemed like, when I looked down at the crowd at the beginning of the game and maybe the end of the first period, the crowd seemed bigger at the end of the first period. So there was even the perception of the feeling of, hey, this we're scoring some goals, and the folks are coming in behind it. And that was good to see.
I think they were listening to the dulcet tones of Austin Drade call the action, and they decided to go check it out. That's my theory. I'm probably wrong. Let's do the weather forecast to send you folks on the way. First of all, it's cold. People, it's really cold. Let me check it out real quick. Let me hit the refresh button there. It's the song we play when we hit refresh on the computer. It is 36 balmy degrees here in the big city. That is the air quality issues that we're having right now, believe it or not, even though we had all the snow Sunday night and Monday morning on the lower Sugarloaf Mountain fire and the Labor Mountain fire. Still got some air quality issues here in the Wenatchee Valley because the fires are getting contained, but they're still burning. And so right now the air is unhealthy for sensitive groups. It'll get better as it goes on. That's Leavenworth, by the way, Austin. They have a big festival this weekend. 58 degrees, lots of bountiful sunshine, very and chilly once again for the overnight low tonight, 32. And then a little bit warmer on Wednesday, a little bit warmer on Thursday, a little bit warmer on Friday. It's definitely going to feel like October here in the Wenatchee Valley. And then rain, best chance Saturday night, most of the day on Sunday before it tapers off on Sunday night into Monday. We had a little bit of rain, of course, at the wee small hours of the weekend. More is on the way this weekend. Bring it on. Austin, good to see you again, my friend. Everybody, have yourself a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.